it's Jas. You're listening to Giving Up the Ghost podcast. Welcome back. So it's a little bit of a catch-up and clean-up situation. This is part 2 of our Halloween episode, Spirits with Spirits, Talking to the Dead. Some crazy cool stories in here. Hope you enjoy this week's episode. And if you'd like to contact us, please email us at givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com. Enjoy.
Julie, you and I are both from spiritualist church training, so I believe about 6 months is the time. They need time to grieve. Those in spirit need time to grieve and transition, and I would suggest rather they go to like a demonstration of mediumship where they may get a message in a roundabout way from another message being given, or they may get just a little snippet, but I think they need that time to mourn the loss, and because otherwise they may be looking for the wrong answers, going for the wrong reason. They're not going to process their grief. And the spirit person also needs to transition and kind of come to realization as to what's happened.
I feel the same. 6 months.
Yeah,
absolutely.
6 months. So 6 months from the time they died? Yeah?
Yeah. Unless it's somebody who's missing. Then I do find that to be a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there may be information that can help find that person.
Right.
That's mainly one that's been for me.
Actually, that's another good question. So, say when you have people that just disappear, they're gone from the face of the earth, and then you see it on the news. You may not know them. You may not, have anything to do with them. Do you ever feel not a connection, but do you like from how you ladies work?
I receive messages.
You receive, yeah.
Not for everybody who is missing.
No.
Just if it's somebody around my age, like with women, it's quite a bit, especially with what's happening here in the city. Like, yeah, I get quite a bit of that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something I haven't dabbled with that much. I might get a feeling of, it's heavy or something not good has happened, but I haven't really worked with that much. That's more your expertise, I think.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, because like when people just go missing, to me it's usually somebody they know. People just don't disappear.
There's the odd time where people, do want to go missing and would not be found. Like there are some people that I've read for where the family member has gone into the woods and things have happened.
And then death by misadventure usually is how that ends up.
Yeah. What was the question again? Tangent.
Because people just don't just disappear, and then if you hear of it, and if there's something that just hits you in a certain way, and then something that tells you automatically that that person's passed, like.
Okay, can I share a story?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it okay if I use the name of what I saw?
I can always take it out of here. Yeah.
So this is probably about a year after Thelma Crawl went missing.
Okay.
So I went to the hill where she was supposedly, quote unquote, and I was shown something else. Not only was I shown something else, I was shown like broken glass in my eye.
Oh.
And so it was actually quite scary because I went home and I couldn't see. I literally thought I had glass in my eye.
Right.
But what she was showing me is this is not where they think I am, or who took me and what they're thinking. So, but I didn't know what to do. I myself had no idea what to do with that information because it wasn't like you're given a land description, you're not given that.
Yeah.
I'm shown trees.
Right.
A tree is a tree.
Yeah.
But there's things like that. And it's not needing to. It was like another medium took me to that spot.
Right.
She goes, you know what this is? I go, it's not what you think it is. Right. But we all get different messages and different vibes.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of the lower vibrational things, sadly.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I wish it was the high vibrational things, but that's just my gift. Can I trade you? She's like, no.
The low vibrational, only if I'm looking for it, is when I find it.
And
Oops. Sorry. So you guys both keep talking about lower vibration, higher vibration. Can you just describe what you're meaning for everybody when you talk about the different vibrations?
So as a kid, things that go bump in the night that scare children, those are low vibrational. Higher vibrational when you start to raise your vibration, so you're dealing with spirit on the other side. Now I don't really open to low vibrational unless I'm going into like do a house clearing, then I'm open to it and I'm looking for it. Otherwise, I'm not tapping into that anymore.
Okay. And with me, it just comes like I'm not, like it's not like I'm open, waiting for this to happen. It just kind of does.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking, maybe I was talking about someone else, not you, about like, yeah, there's been times where I've been attacked and things like that. But even in that, I've never felt unsafe, which might sound super bizarre and it would probably scare most people. But that's what I'm curious. The time I had a burn, I think I showed you a picture. I'm like, never ever figured out who gave you that gift.
And what about you had the scratches? You had the scratches on your
I
back.
wake up with that sometimes. Definitely not for me.
No. Nothing kinky the night before.
Well, with all those people in my bedroom, I don't know. No, it's nothing kinky, it's something like
No,
that.
I know.
But I think there's something they want me to see, something they want me to.
Like trying to get your attention. Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think it's to hurt me. And it could be, maybe I'm not being attacked from a bad person. It's just maybe it's something bad that happened to someone else and they're physically showing me.
Right.
But when you're given so little information,
Right.
because I'm sleeping.
Right.
So it's that puzzle piece thing that you were talking about. Even with mediumship readings, like you and I might get 10 different puzzle pieces, and it's just like putting a puzzle together that you've never seen the box.
Yeah.
Is that how you see it too?
Yeah. I kind of see it like I get the puzzle piece, but I don't see the puzzle. So it's up to the recipient to figure out where that goes in their life. I don't know the whole story. I'm not reading their mind. I don't know everything about them. I just know that little blurb that needs to go in there.
Okay. Any more questions? Oh, here we go.
Actually, I have a couple of questions.
Oh.
First question is going back to this lady's question about, you said 6 months. Is that 6 months before you should try to contact? So then after that, like if I'm talking, I want to try to contact somebody that's been passed for 20 years.
Oh yeah. Oh
That
yeah.
would be okay?
Oh yeah, and yeah, it's just if there's been a recent passing,
Right.
I won't read for someone if they've just passed. I recommend that they wait about 6 months to give a buffer. Healing needs to happen on both sides before the grief is still too fresh, and actually the grief can block that connection, so they're probably not going to come through before that time. There's the odd time where they will, that they're still so connected to earth, but they're not ready, and neither is the recipient. It's just going to bring up so much pain and suffering. So if they've been passed for 20 years, oh yeah, by all means.
Okay. So second question, if somebody comes in and asks for a reading, and say they want to contact somebody in particular, you said there's possibilities that other people can come in instead. Is it possible that two different people come in at the same time?
It could be a number of people. It just depends who wants to be seen, who wants to be heard, and who has a message.
And it doesn't matter where, like say if I want to contact a friend that's passed, it doesn't matter where, if it's here, at our house, it's in the house. It doesn't really matter if they
Travels with
me, right?
Oh yeah, they're with you. We could do it online. I could be in Mexico and giving you a reading. But it also depends on the medium, because just like you don't connect with every single person in life, spirit may not connect with every single medium. So the spirits that I might bring through for my clients, she might, if we were up here doing a demonstration, we might not connect with the same spirit for the same person. She might get someone completely different because they're going to pull from her knowledge bank and her personality, and I may get somebody completely different because they know that I'm going to understand the message that's coming through.
Actually, I have a kind of funny story about Amy as well.
I'm like,
So,
the Amy stories today.
yeah.
Bring it.
Last year, she comes over to my house for coffee, no baby. We're just sitting there and chilling and whatever. And then she goes to use the washroom. She comes back and she starts asking me, she's like, you got a clock in your bathroom? And I'm like, I got a clock in my bathroom. And then she goes, yeah. She's like, it's giving me a message. It's telling me, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Tick, 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 tick. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah. And I'm like, she goes, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? She's looking at me and I'm like, I don't even know I got a freaking clock in my bathroom. And you're asking me what that means. So I'm thinking about it, I go, wait a second. So my son is very specific. He's very on time. He's very, precise. He wants to make sure he's not taking too long in the bathroom. I mean, that water bill will dispute that, but that's another fact. That's another story. But he always wanted a clock in the bathroom. And when he wanted a clock in the bathroom just to watch his time and stuff, we grabbed him a clock and she said, where did you get that clock in the bathroom? And I'm like, well, maybe it was my father-in-law's partner's clock. And I said to Rick, he comes upstairs, and I'm like, where did I get that clock in the bathroom? Was that from Margaret? And he's like, no, I don't know. He goes, that was from your mom's stuff. I'm like, oh. So my mom's been passed for about 5-6 years now, and she had very odd habits, and one of the habits she had was she would sleep sitting up for years, and she was on dialysis. And she was very on time, very specific, and this was the clock that was beside her all those years with the alarm clock to wake her up at 4 a.m. because she always had to get up. And I'm like, oh, okay. Amy nailed that one, so anyway, that's connecting.
And that shows you can breathe from anywhere.
Yeah, so that was kind of weird. I had to kind of put it together. I wasn't looking for anything by means, but it was just funny because the way she went about it, and then the way I had to try and figure out where that clock came from, because we'd had that in the bathroom for about 3 years, I think, So it's annoying, that clock. But so anyway, I just had to share that, my Amy story. Thank you.
Amy story. I've got one.
You got one?
She got lots. I'm not reading your mind.
Have you guys ever done group readings? And if you haven't, would you consider doing it?
Like, do you mean like in front of a room?
Yeah, people have 4, 5, 6 family members over or something and invite you over.
So I would do that, but not stand in front of her room the way Lynda does. I give her all the credit.
Yeah, I've had experienced that with that. And as a student minister in a spiritualist church, taking Sunday service, we often did demonstrations of mediumship afterwards. So it was, quick 5 to 7 minutes, and it's 3 or 4 readings, but then also mediumship message nights as well. So I've had experience with that.
How do you discern between the different messages, like who it's for?
Sometimes I don't know where I'm going, or I might just know it's the side of the room, and then it's about bringing through evidence about who's with me, not with me, but who I'm feeling, and having the person recognize that. Sometimes I know exactly where I'm going, or if I'm doing it on Zoom. Zoom is different. I can see the spirit people behind everybody in the Zoom window. So I see them kind of very hazy, so I know exactly who I'm going to and who's with them. But in person, that's a little different. I don't see them the same way. Sometimes I just know where I'm going.
Okay.
It must be pretty exhausting. Like, what happens after you have an intense reading? How do you wind down? Like, how do you, not disconnect, but I would think it would leave you a little spent.
Well, you're kind of on a high after, really. And it's usually after I go home and I'll have something to eat. Even though I've shut myself off, I'm not really shut off, but I'll eat something and then it's just kind of like, woof, and then I'm done and I'm tired instantly.
Oh, yeah.
For me, it's sugar. I need to have candy.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. And then I try to go to Birds Hill. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to ground in nature.
So I remember last year you got invited to go check out that place out by Gimli, Arnez, right?
My dream house.
Yeah. Can you tell us what you picked up when you were in that?
There was quite a few nuns when I was there.
Was it? It was a nunnery, wasn't it?
It was a nunnery.
Yeah. And that was out in Arnez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was quite a few nuns, but there was a man who didn't belong, and I never figured out where he came from. But he kept throwing me off balance. You went up the stairs, right, to the 3rd floor.
Yes.
And so when you go up there, it's just like you're on a drunken ship or something. Like the energy up there is different. It's not harmful, but it's just off balance. It's like keeping you away, but I don't think it's anything bad.
Right. Okay. But you even said, I remember you were telling me when I first met you, the property itself, you took some really weird pictures and just the property.
The property's scary. That's one of the few places that do scare me even when I want to live there.
Really, eh? That's cool.
I think it has to do with, so there's some history with children at a camp close by.
Yeah.
So there's that kind of energy around there.
Right.
So there's pain involved in the land.
Yeah.
So, our investigators, Clay and Eileen, were out there with us, as well as Brandon, who's over here. And Eileen had some of the same experiences on the land, that there was a lot of activity going on out there, not just in the house itself.
I find it more outside.
Yeah, but there was a lot on the land too.
It's going to be a retreat center now.
A retreat
Center.
Really?
They're,
It's a retreat center
it's
now?
going to be a retreat center
Oh,
opening next
that-
summer. Buckle up.
That could be interesting.
I don't know how relaxing that's going to
The people was, especially since they're renovating, right?
be. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Just asking for it. Renovations? Hello.
In the basement.
Oh, that basement creeped me out.
There's something in the basement.
Oh.
Yeah, that whole house was just.
I can get you the information to who.
Yeah, please do.
Road trip. I know how to sneak up to the back of the property.
Okay.
Did you guys go onto the back property? Like into the actual park behind it?
We walked out, it's very dark, but I literally heard low drumming. I knew there was burials out there immediately. And oddly enough, I saw the owner at the time. I saw her dog. So when I came in, I said, you have a dog. You have a dog. The dog's about that big. Dog, very clear. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, you still want your animal here. So there was, like, I saw that, and there's probably one on the land, and it tends to hold, you know.
I encourage you to go to the park behind it. So much more energy. Like rent a yurt sometime.
Yeah.
Nightmares are made out of, like handprints, things like that come in the night.
Wow.
Sweet. Can
Not
we
trying to scare anyone.
road trip next summer?
At tent will travel?
That's awesome.
Actually, that gives me an idea for another question for you ladies. Spirit, like animals, like have you ever connected with anybody with their like a pet, or have you ever seen or felt?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Me, not so much, which is funny because I've worked in a veterinary specialty hospital, so I have a really good connection with animals, but I don't have animals come through a lot. Yeah.
I do quite often, I'm not sure why. But it's probably just their vibrations. But I'm kind of kooky. like if I just meet you, I'm gonna roll around with your dog. So
I do too, I connect with animals too.
is it just like pets, or is it like deer and?
Well, I saw her pets, I obviously my own pets, you hear them or see the shadows of them. Yeah, and any nature though, I'm quite connected.
That's beautiful.
That's a nice gift to have. What's the difference between a ghost and a spirit?
I love you.
So spirit, how I see it, is loved ones on the other side that come through to talk to us. Ghosts can be, sometimes it's stuck spirits, sometimes it can be entities as well, or even just an imprint of the energy that's kind of stuck there. It's not necessarily a ghost or anything happening, it's just an imprint of the energy that's left behind.
Right.
So there's different ghosts and hauntings.
Okay.
You agree?
I agree fully.
Yeah, as an investigator, I agree too. Like we deal more with the ghosts, right? That, like you were saying, that imprint. We call it residual energy versus hauntings, and that. And occasionally we'll be able to get spirits come through, but for us it's the same thing. Ghost is something that's kind of stuck here for whatever reason, and a spirit is somebody who comes back and gives messages or, hellos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because energy's energy. It just
Yeah.
doesn't go away. Question.
So, I have a question. So,
Yes.
window, which is very few heard by people, and it means death. And when I heard that, I was totally freaked out because I was in a semi-state. I was asleep, but also awake, but I knew I wasn't hallucinating. Like, I actually heard this, and I knew it meant death. However, I didn't know it meant death. So how did I know it meant death? And yet I Googled it, and it was like, I knew it meant death. And then 3 people that I actually met in my life died, and one included David Bowie, which was really weird. And so I'm just kind of like, do you have weird phenomena like that happens? You know, like, it's almost like a message from the other side, but who's giving that message? And it's like, why is it, what are they telling you? Like, you're going to experience like 3 deaths.
I would say they were just preparing you. That would be my thoughts on that.
Yeah, it could be your guides coming through to let you know. I don't really take wrappings though to mean death, because if you go back to the start of modern spiritualism, it was brought to us by the Fox sisters by wrappings on the wall, and that was 3 sisters who started talking with the spirit who was tapping on the wall, and they discovered a system of getting information, and they found out that it was a peddler who had been murdered in the home that they were living in, and this is in Hydesville, New York, back in 31. And that was the start of modern spiritualism. So that's where mediumship really kind of got started. It was tapping.
That's interesting. My mom was murdered, so maybe that's why I get that.
Well, it could be just how they're trying to talk to you. Maybe that's how they're coming through, so they know that you're going to hear them.
Warning, like, there's going to be 3 deaths coming.
Yeah.
Because I was even pre-cognitive on my mom's murder as a child. And before she was murdered, but I couldn't tell her, right? Right?
So I think they're trying to come through and talk to you in other ways. You're just not picking up. So this is how they're coming through.
Death seems to be a really big thing with me. Like,
Yeah.
you were saying about the negative. Like, I get a lot of the negative stuff coming through, and it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that's what I want to associate with.
I think it's like what Lynda said, that you may be not noticing the other good messages that are coming
Yeah,
through
because
you're
it's
hyper-focused on,
exactly
on that.
Yeah.
My advice would be acknowledge it when you're aware of them, and then they start learning how to work with you. Because they have to learn how to communicate from the other side, just like as mediums, we have to learn how to communicate with them.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be on a walk, say, and then I'll have like a little something happen, and then I'll think that's like a happy message, someone speaking to me. But I mean, we live in a negative world, so it's not as drastic, you know what I'm saying? That you're not really as aware of it, whereas the negative kind of like
Well, it jumps out at you more so.
Yeah.
Can I have a story to share about the knocking. So when my grandfather passed, it was sudden. Like he passed in the middle of the night, and it was quite a shock. It wasn't expected, and between spending time with my grandmother and back at our house, within that first 48 hours, like, you know, you can't sleep at that point. Like, sleep is just kind of, you're distraught, you know, consoling my grandmother, consoling the kids, you know, just trying to keep it together or whatever. But wherever I slept in that 48 hours, whether it was in my grandmother's house or at our house, I heard knock, knock, knock. And then it would fade off, and then I'd hear knock, knock, knock. I heard that in both houses. And because to me, he passed so suddenly, instantly I knew he didn't know what happened, and he was trying to get back. He didn't know he was, not that he was trapped, but he didn't know he was passed because just the way it happened, and he was trying to get back. So he was knocking, and he was like looking for an answer, maybe from me, because it followed me between both houses, you know? That's my experience with the knocking, and it freaked me out because for years I could never find information on that on the internet or anything. You know, it's just in the last year or so I'm actually now, it's like, okay, more people are having this experience, you know, but it was very specific, and I was still of mind to know this isn't normal, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, within that first 2 days. Anyway, it's like, I don't think I want to go to sleep anymore because it was waking me up. You know, I'll just stay awake now, thanks.
See, we use knocking as a form of communication on our investigations, right? We'll ask for the spirit to knock for us, to let them know that, or let us know that they're there. We can also use it for like yes, no answers, things like that. So for us, a knock isn't necessarily related to death in any way.
Right.
Yeah, in that aspect.
Yeah.
Mine was though, because I was asleep, right?
Yeah.
It was more like, it was creepy.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything like it. It was creepy.
Oh, and another thing about the knocking, sorry, another thing about the knocking, our friends at Six Pines Haunted Attractions, that's what James was always saying. They live in a haunted house on the property. And I remember he was always saying that the knocking would happen. He would hear knocking and it would be over their headboard and it would wake them up. And I'm like, oh my God, knocking. But obviously nobody had died recently there on the property. And I don't know, I'm just so inquisitive. I just got to know. I always ask questions. I got to know things. And I was asking him a whole bunch of these questions. And I think one of the questions I asked him, I'm like, well, how often does this happen? He's like, I don't know. And then when we went back, when I brought Ashley and Kelly to investigate out there, and they met them for the same time, he says to me, he goes, you know what that question you asked me? And I'm like, I asked millions of questions. I'm like a little kid with ADHD. And then he's like, about the knocking, he says, I took count. He says, I was tracking it after you asked me. He's like, he goes, yeah, 4 times a month or something like that. I'm like, oh, that's a lot.
All right, well, I have a bit of a story, and it's not really a ghost story, but it's about spirit. And I'm going to tell you the story about my husband. My husband was called into hospital and he was having some tests, and unfortunately he passed during his time having the tests. And to cut a long story short, we were all very upset about it all, and I told the kids to go get the car and drive home and whatnot, you know, all the normal stuff that you just try to be thinking about. And anyway, I was driving home from the hospital. He was alive when I left the hospital. And I said to Spirit, how long have you got? And I heard a voice as clear as day, 5. And I said, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 years, what? 5. Okay, so I go home and I'm all relaxed. I got my comfies on and everything. And I hear another voice say, go to the hospital. Your children need you. So I thought, oh, come on. I took your makeup off and everything, you know. And I thought, well, I better go. 45 below out. So I head down to the hospital and he's passed, right? So I thought, oh, well, what's going to happen now? So the kids were all upset. They had to pick the car up and everything. So I go home and I'm getting ready to go to bed and I'm still a little bit in shock. And I said, hon, have you made it? Has it made the transition? And I could feel his energy. And I went into the fridge for something and then I come back out of the fridge and it was like the whole kitchen kind of moved. There was an energy in the kitchen that I'd never experienced before. And it was like, the only way I could describe it is like somebody was throwing a silk sheet over you. It was so soft but cool. And I said, is that you, hon? And I said, if that's you, give me a hug. Now, anybody that knows my husband, he was a professional engineer. He wasn't a touchy-feely guy.
Right.
You know, he was very stiff upper lip.
Yep.
And I felt his energy. I didn't see him. I felt his energy come in close to me. And it was like that movie, you know that movie Ghost?
Right. Yeah.
His body came right into mine and I felt his presence within me. And it wasn't an emotional thing. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful. I've never forgotten the experience. I've never experienced anything like it before. And when I share that with people, I tell them I have a better relationship now with my husband. Now he's dead.
That's great. Thanks, Julie. Oh, here we go.
Thanks, Julie. That was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, because that's a personal story too. So, I mean, thank you for sharing that. Anybody else have any stories? Any takers? I know there's a lot of shy people here, no names mentioned, so, you know.
I can share a small story.
Excellent, okay.
So a couple of years ago, I was out of my cottage, and my sister and I had planned on taking our kids to Elk Island for the day, which is from Victoria Beach. It's just a short little hike through the water, actually. And I made a comment, you know, my nanny would have loved this. I wish she could have come with us. She passed back in 2001. You know, so she never got to do any of these trips with us.
Right.
Yeah, so I made the comment, like, you know, I wish Nanny could come with us.
Right.
And I went to sleep that night, and in my dream, the phone rang, and I picked it up, and it was my nanny, my grandmother. And she goes, you know what? I decided I'm gonna come with you tomorrow.
Nope.
And I was like, yeah. And then that was it. I woke up, and the next day we went to Elk Island, and I always say, like, when I see butterflies, that's my grandmother coming around me. I actually have a butterfly tattoo on my leg for her.
That's nice.
And we were seeing butterflies all day. It was beautiful.
That would be beautiful. Yeah.
Come on up.
All right, so when you're young and you don't realize what spirits are, I was in Perth, Ontario. My family used to take care of this cemetery. And every day we go for ice cream. And every day I'd see this man sitting beside the gravesite. So, curious as I was, I'd sit beside him and I'd talk to him. And he had like a newspaper and he was talking away. And I asked him, I kept saying, well, what was she like? What is she, you know, because I just thought his wife had passed, because the way he was talking. So I was sitting there and I looked at him and I was like, you know, like, don't you see her? You know, and he's like, no. I said, okay. So the next day, I go walking down with my cousins and all of a sudden he's not there. And I stopped and I'm like, oh, what happened to him? So I got scared because I thought, where did he go?
Right.
Because every day. So I went up to my aunt and I said, can I ask you a question? She was doing a little plot. She's like, what, Connie? And she had those rods. And I remember taking the rods and I was like spinning them, like putting them out and they just spin like a helicopter. And she looked at me, she goes, what are you doing? And I said, I'm just trying something. And I said, that man that was over in that plot right there? And she's like, what man? And I said, well, there's a man every day. I said, when we go get ice cream, he'd be sitting there, he'd be looking at the book. She goes, Connie, the man passed away. The wife he's waiting for. And I went, oh, because there he was waiting for his wife to come, but he didn't know where she was. But I told him to go shopping. Like I told him to go groceries. She's waiting for stuff. I didn't know. And it was really weird because that was my first encounter with spirit, and I was thinking to myself, wow, like, how did I not know that? Because I always thought it'd be clear, I thought it'd be like just certain things, but as a kid I was like really taken back by this. But then I'd walk by and I'd just be like really fast because I didn't understand death totally.
Right.
But yeah, when my aunt took me and said, no, see, Connie, he passed and she's still alive. See, her name's on it, and I just went, oh, so, yeah, that was my first time.
Aww. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
The innocence of children, right?
I know, right? Oh yeah, children like are scary for so many reasons. I have a story that I don't tell too often. That given that it's Halloween, it's kind of fitting. Okay, so I mean, I'll be the first to tell you I have something, but I don't tap into it, and I'm fine with that. So many years ago, I met this lady, and I won't use her name because you'll find that out soon. Let's call her Jackie. So I met Jackie through my mom because at the time we had a dog who had, what do you call,
like ear infections or from the gluten shit they put in dog food for the shelf life and stuff. So met this woman who is like a distributor for a certain type of dog food that only has like 6 months preservative, which is really, really good for the dogs and stuff. So then that way, they don't get that gucky infection and all that kind of stuff. So got to know Jackie over the years. I'd always go to her house, I'd pick up the dog food, and sometimes she'd have it outside for me. So not like she ever gave me a tour of her house or anything like that. But one time, I go in, and then the next time I go in and I'm like, there's something messed up about her basement. I don't like her basement. And what it is, she had the weirdest house, because when you walk into her side by side, when you walk into her house, there's like a railing 3 ways around with like a downstairs right in the middle of the floor. I thought that's just the dumbest, who designed this house, right? And you stand there talking by the railing. I mean, not that I thought I would be falling in, it was odd, it was weird, and I kept looking right down at the base of the stairs. I kept looking right down at the base of the stairs. There's just something that, I don't know if I was looking for something or waiting for something, and I'm like, I don't like this house, I don't like that, and it scared me, but how you're attracted to something, and I felt like something was watching me, I don't know. So, this happened a few times. I'd go in the winter, otherwise I'd be outside. Very nice lady. We're good friends still to this day. Anyway, one time I was talking to her. We'd moved houses and still had the dog. No, maybe I didn't have the dog anymore. No, still had the dog. But, I'd still pick up the dog food. But she was the nicest lady to talk to. I'd pick up the phone every now and then, and, she'd get yak, 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 and I can yak, 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 and we're talking. This one time I phone her, and it's October, and she sounds very distracted. She sounds very annoyed. She sounds very heightened. And I'm like, are you okay, Jackie? Like, you don't, she goes, oh, it's happening again. It's happening again. And I go, what do you mean? She says, well, they call every time this time of year. And I go, what do you mean they call? And she goes, the police, they want to find out if there's been any contact with the house. And I go, what are you talking about? She goes, did I not ever tell you about my house? And I said, the fact that there was the dead real estate agent at the bottom of your stairs? She goes, yeah. I go, no, you never told me that. It just kind of popped out. And that's the lady that has the house that now where the unsolved murder of the dead real estate agent, that was in 1979, and that's her house. So I'm still good friends, acquaintances with her. I mean, every now and then I'll ask her, so anything weird happening in your house? And she says, things will move now and then, but she's a quiet roommate. She says, sure wish you'd do the dishes. I mean, she wasn't the immediate owner after that though either. She's like the second owner. So anyway, but that's just something. Cool. Yeah. But Halloween.
There's something about this time of year, like it just...
The veil's thin.
I know.
So.
All right, any other stories to share? How about over here? Anybody want to share some stories tonight? No, everybody's all quiet.
Brandon's about to get up. Oh no, he's just stretching. Never mind, not to put him on the spot or anything. So, what time?
Brandon loves being on the spot, right?
We still got a few minutes in. Got 10 minutes. Any more stories?
No.
Well, actually, bring attention to the Winnipeg Paranormal Group. So they're an amazing group of people led by Ashley and Kelly, and they've had us out on some of the investigations. We just kind of invite ourselves. But we record it and we take pictures and all that good stuff. But lately, you guys have been super busy, so let's focus on that. Like, that can't go under the radar. You guys have been with October, Halloween.
Yeah, October is always a really, really busy time for us, but it's been, last year and this year really picked up. Mm-hmm. So really started at the end of, well, if you want to really state it, it started back in July when we started doing the Seven Oaks House investigations.
Yeah.
Our public investigations, so people are able to come out and enjoy an investigation with us. We bring our tools and you get invited out to a haunted location and get to investigate. So we did a bunch of investigations there. And then starting in September, we started doing some new locations. So we were invited out to Fort Lorraine, just outside of Portage La Prairie, which if you guys get a chance, it is absolutely amazing and very haunted.
That's the one I was hoping to get to. I ended up with the plague with COVID, unfortunately, so a couple things got canceled, but that one, I had been in talks with them before, just around the time COVID started. Me and Cheryl were going to go out there just to record. I would have loved to have been.
Oh, it was amazing. We had 3 groups going, and when we brought everybody back at the end of the night, there was so many validating stories of like, hey, this happened to me in this house, and then another group would say, yeah, that same thing, that same message came across to me, and you know, it was so exciting. But yeah, so after that, then I'd have to pull my calendar. There's so much stuff.
I know. But more recently though, the Aviation Museum, that was new.
Yeah, another new location was the Aviation Museum. We just did that. Was it last weekend?
2 weeks
Two
ago.
weekends ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Thanks, Bud.
And then last night, can you talk about last night at all? Or
So last night we were actually invited out to. Oh, I forgot to record it. Damn it.
shit balls.
Kelly and I were invited out to City TV building down in the Forks. So they recorded us, and we're going to put it on the news tonight. I'm sure it'll air tomorrow.
sure
They
it will.
normally do.
Yeah.
But we got to investigate their building. So we were up in the old records room. We were on this catwalk to nowhere, and we got to go down in the basement. And you know, this is our second time in this building. We had been in there a couple years before, but last night, yeah, it was a really interesting evening. Like up in the records room, I was sitting on the floor doing an Estes method, which for those of you who don't know, Estes is, I had the ghost box on, I had a blindfold on, so I couldn't hear the questions that were being asked, and I just repeated anything that I felt or heard or anything like that. So it was interesting because Kelly said, you know, I wasn't getting really anything coming out of the ghost box, but at one point she said we had some cat balls set up, so the cat ball went off.
Cool.
And then all of a sudden, like, there's a really heavy footstep right beside me.
Okay.
So it was like cat ball, 2 seconds later, footstep beside me.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. And then we went down into the basement, and that's actually where we got the most activity. So again, we set up the cat ball down at one end, and we've gone to the other end to do some pendulum work and some Ouija board. And the cat ball at the other end of the hallway kept going off.
Yikes.
And then we'd go and we'd walk to it, and it would stop.
Well, and to me, why I'm so curious is if anybody knows of the building was the powerhouse, was it not?
I think so. It's the one with the smokestack.
Yeah. So when you go to the Forks, so the TV station's been operating out of there for at least 20 years or so. And it's all authentic red brick on the inside, red brick on the outside.
Building.
Yeah. And it was one of the original buildings that was a part of the Forks, like the area. So, and the thing is, like with the Forks, there was all tunnels to all the old buildings and stuff. So I could just imagine the amount of activity that would be in the basement. I'm sure there's a buried-in tunnel that connected that to the rest of it.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also got to, several years ago, got to investigate the antique shop that's in the Johnson Terminal.
Oh yeah.
So anybody wants to go check that place out,
Super. Yeah.
crazy energy in there as well.
Yeah. There's a black spirit entity. I heard a shadow entity.
Didn't come across the black entity, but we did come across a little girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But see, then that goes back to the whole attached possession things or the building, right? Because I mean, there's so much stuff there.
Yeah,
There's so
exactly.
much. Yeah.
And then if anybody's interested, there's actually, there's 5 tickets left. We have an investigation coming up on November 15th at the Assinaboine Park Pavllion. So that's another new location that we get to work in this year. So
I'm still doing the research on that one.
we're interested to see what we're going to catch, if anything, and we'd love for you guys to come and join us with that.
Yeah, that'd be a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Well, I don't know, any more questions or should we close out?
Yeah.
So have you guys gone through like some of the books, you know, haunted places like the baby's room, like out in southern Alabama, the baby's room where you walk in and right in there, and the room is really lit up, and the baby had passed, and it's still lit up, and there's no electricity to this building. Like, have you been to those places?
Never heard of it.
I haven't been to that. I've never.
We used to call it the baby's room for our kids, but those are things that I think we need for you guys to go check out. When you talk about Fort Lorraine, my wedding photo, there was a lady's face in my wedding
Really?
photo in one of the buildings. Yeah, she was in one of that's
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, so definitely there. But there's also like Saskatchewan has also a monastery. They took it down, but it was like amazing. Like here we like go down, just dog walking, and just everything.
Yeah. Well, we've been to the St. Norbert Monastery, and there's a lot of activity there, and whatever it is does not like women.
Oh,
So, I mean, it was,
Shocker.
I know, I was full of monks, right? Hey. But yeah, that's another interesting place. Like, there's lots of shadows going on in there.
I'd like to see you guys do that baby's room in that house because there's no electricity and that light comes on all the time.
Yeah.
Which house is that? Like, what is,
It's just out in the middle of nowhere.
really?
Yeah, and it's
Oh.
and you just they let you.
Well,
And-
if you can find any information about like where it is, can you send it to us, and we'll see what we can do about checking it out. I mean, everything we do with permission too. So, you know, we want to try and find whoever owns the land before we just.
Yeah. That's why I like these guys, like very, very no nonsense, like just legit. I've said that a lot. I love these guys because, you know, they have respect for the living and the dead.
I can talk to them, but I
That's funny.
I mean, I'm not putting apples to oranges compared to other investigation teams out there, but I'm just saying you guys ask for permission, which is the decent thing to do.
Well, it's the right thing to
It
do.
is.
I mean, not just because you don't want to be trespassing, but I mean, there's so many stories
At
nowadays.
this age,
too
I don't care
about-
what I get charged with anymore, just kidding.
Well, there is stories of investigative teams getting charged
I
with
know.
like trespassing and things like that. And, you know,
Yeah.
not only does it affect us with our credibility, but you know, it would affect other teams' chances of getting in there, and
Right.
that's part of what's happened
Yeah.
to us as Winnipeg Paranormal. There's been other teams in Winnipeg who have gone into locations without permission or gone in and not followed the rules that were set out by the owner.
Right.
And so now they've just closed their doors. They
Yeah,
won't
that's
let anybody
unfortunate.
in, which is unfortunate because Winnipeg has so many haunted locations
So many.
and so much history that, you know, there's so many places we'd love to get into that are
Yeah.
just like, no,
Yeah.
we don't do that again.
I still got that one I want to try and get you into,
Yeah.
where they only let me in.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't discuss that one right now, but anyway. So yeah, it's been a great night. Thank you. It's been a small, intimate crowd, but we appreciate you guys coming
Yeah.
out. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
to our special guests, Lynda and Amy. Huge round of applause.
You guys did great. Thank you so
You
much.
were amazing. See, it wasn't so bad, Amy, right? Oh no.
Just consider this practice for the next
That's
time we call you
right.
up.
The next time you come, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Oh my God, there's so much activity in Seven Oaks House.
I worked for 28 years. I worked for the IDA across the street.
Okay.
And we actually called an operation on
That doesn't surprise
Wow.
me. You can come see me afterwards. I have a picture of one from Seven Oaks House on my phone. But yeah, that was the house that actually kind of started it all for us with public investigations. I cannot go into that master bedroom without getting a migraine. Doesn't matter what's going on. And as soon as I step out of it, I'm fine.
lots of things happen in the store. I heard one guy say he thought he saw a little, he was locked in there by himself. He thought he saw a little dog.
Really?
And he looked for the dog and he couldn't find the dog. So a couple days later, I was at the Green Briar House, just
Yep.
there today. And I looked at my keys just were wrong. So I knew he was working late, so I went and I opened the door and I started running around the store.
I just want to say that they do the
Yes.
if anybody wants to experience going through that building.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and the Historical Society does a great job of it too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of old buildings too.
Yeah.
For that matter.
Yeah. And like for the podcast, we've taken, well, you guys came with us too. We've done doors open, like, you know, we've been able to, because for us it's the history and the hauntings. Like, I mean, you can't have one without the other. There's so much history in the city and the province. Like, it's just so untapped, right? Like, there's just so much. And just when you think you've heard it all, you haven't.
Yeah, well, and that's this field too, right? You think you have the answer to one question, and then it just creates 10 more. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's never changing, ever evolving field, and it's part of what I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys are good at it too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
It so is. Yeah, so addicting.
Yeah. So you guys been a great crowd. Thank you so much. And again, Giving Up the Ghost podcast. We're downloaded everywhere. Podcasts can be found. If you do want to reach out to us, it's givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com. And
Yeah, if you guys want to check out Winnipeg Paranormal, we've got a Facebook page, Winnipeg Paranormal Group. We've got a website, and you guys can always reach out to us via email, which is wpgparanormal@gmail.com.
and Ashley, remember to live every day like it is your last.
And never give up the ghost.
She's getting really good at that.
I know, I'm so glad I don't forget it anymore.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Chug, chug, chug.